showing you how to make your own feather extension. So this is kind of just a tip if you were thinking about getting feather extensions but you weren't sure about it. This is just kind of a way to make your own. Things you need are really inexpensive. So the things you will need are a fine tip brush. You'll need some sort of food dye. This is actually icing dye, but any kind of food coloring dye will work. You need hair rubber bands and Q-tips. Then you need some water. Then some scissors. Obviously you'll need a feather. This is actually one I just found on the ground and I gave it a good wash and dried it. And then you'll need a bobby pin. So the first thing you want to do is just snip any kind of extra feather. So I have to do this off camera just because it's hard to do it on camera, but you just want to snip any of this kind of extra part. Once you've snipped all the extra off, it should be looking a lot more precise, like this. You can cut even more off, but I'm just going to leave it like this. Then you want to take your brush and dunk it in the water, and then you want to take a bit of the dye and kind of make the perfect mixture. And then you just want to brush it onto the feather with strokes. So it's going to look a bit weird at first, but just go with the flow. So you just want to continue doing this all the way up the feather. Then you just want to leave this to dry for a bit so the dye kind of has its time to sink in. While you're giving the feather some time to dry, all you need to do is kind of get the rubber band. You kind of just want to loop through the rubber band. So you just want to loop the rubber bands together like this. It's a bit hard to show on camera, but you just want to get a small knot like this. And you want to do this around 4 or 5 times, depends how long your hair is. Okay, so I've just looped mine with 4 different rubber bands. I don't know if you can really see what I've done, but you just want to kind of loop them through so they kind of attach to each other. So by now the dye should have dried a bit more, so you just want to take your Q-tip and dunk it into the water. Mine's orange now. And you want to kind of remove the excess dye. Like so. Then you just want to go rinse off your feather and dry it. You can let it air dry or you can use a hairdryer to dry it. So clearly I haven't left the dye in for very long, so it's only kind of created highlights in the feather, but if you leave the dye in for longer it will kind of tint it a lot more. Then you just want to pierce a small hole through the stem, and I just use my nail to do this, but you can use a needle or whatever. And you want to place the rubber band around it and kind of loop it through. Make a small hole and loop it through. So pretty much you just want to loop it through or tie it through the end of the feather, so you kind of have an attachment to the feather like this. Then you want to take your bobby pin and just put it through the last rubber band so it kind of gets to the end. So your feather extension should be left looking like this, the feather at the bottom, then the rubber bands just to add a longer extension to the feather, and then the bobby pin to clip it into your hair. So the last step is just to put this wherever you want in your hair. I haven't really tried this yet, so we'll see how this works out. I just want to kind of put it underneath. So this is what it ends up looking like. You kind of just get a peekaboo sort of feather peeking through your hair. You can see that underneath the rubber bands do show, but obviously your hair is going to cover that. So obviously you can put more color in the feather, adding like blue dyes or yellow or something like that. I just kind of went for a neutral kind of orange highlight to the feather. I didn't want to add too much. So obviously this isn't exactly like a feather extension in the sense that you can't curl it and straighten it. You can blow dry it, so if you want to wash it you can blow dry it, but you can't really style it. And obviously if you want to wash your hair, you take it out, but that's kind of a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. So it's pretty much just whatever preference you have, but I think it looks really cute. So yeah, so I hope you guys like this tutorial, and bye.